Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful but super simple framework for living an ethical life. It's all about making conscious choices about where we put our energy, what we lean into, and what we step away from. Let's dive in. So we've all been there, right? You look at the world, with all its noise and conflicting messages, and you ask yourself, how do I find my anchor? How do I know I'm pointed in the right direction, towards what's actually good? It's a huge, fundamental human question. Just for a second, really picture that. A life where your heart feels totally secure, connected to goodness and truth, and at the same time, you have this clarity to just step away from the things that cause harm. Now, this isn't just some nice, fluffy thought. It's an actual, achievable way of being, and there's a framework that can help get us there.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea, guiding your moral compass. We're about to unpack two core principles that, when you put them together, act like an internal guidance system for living with real purpose.
So these two principles are called Tawalla and Tabarra. And while they come from the Shia Islamic tradition, the ideas behind them are honestly universal. They speak to anyone from any walk of life who's just trying to live with a bit more integrity and purpose.
And here's the key to understanding them. You can't think of them as two separate things. They're really two sides of the exact same coin. One is about what you choose to embrace, and the other is about what you choose to move away from. You absolutely need both to find that balance.
So first up, let's talk about Tawalla. This is the principle of positive connection. It's about actively choosing to love and align yourself with everything that stands for goodness. You know, the people, the values, the actions. It's like a deep, heartfelt yes to virtue. So what does this actually look like? Well, here's a perfect example. Say you help out with a local food drive. You're not just stocking shelves. You are actively practicing Tawalla. You're literally tying your own heart to the values of compassion and justice. It's an action with meaning. Now, on the flip side of that coin, you have Tabarra. And this is so important. Tabarra is not about hate. It's about wisdom. It's about protecting yourself. It's the conscious choice to create a healthy distance from people, from ideas, from behaviors that are harmful or unjust. Think of it as putting up a moral guardrail. And here is an example we can all relate to. You're in a conversation and it turns to nasty, divisive gossip. The moment you decide to walk away, or maybe you try to steer the conversation to something better, that is Tabarra in action. You're protecting your own values and, frankly, the health of your community, too. See how they fit together? Tawalla is like the engine. It moves you forward. It builds a better world by embracing what's good. And Tabarra is the shield. It protects you and society by setting boundaries against what's harmful. You gotta have both. One without the other is like trying to row a boat with only one oar. It just doesn't work. So where did these ideas even come from? Well, they didn't just show up out of nowhere. They're actually part of this long, incredible legacy of moral courage that's rooted deep in history and even in our own psychology. I mean, this pattern of rejecting harm while embracing good, it's ancient. You see it with Prophet Abraham, who rejected false idols, that's Tabarra, while dedicating himself to one God, that's Tawalla. You see it with Prophet Moses, who stood up to a tyrant while leading his people toward liberation. It's a powerful, timeless model for how to live with courage. And what's really fascinating is how this ancient idea lines up perfectly with what modern social psychology tells us about being human. We know we have a deep need for belonging and connection. That's the heart of Tawalla. We also know that having clear boundaries is absolutely vital for our mental health and integrity. And that's exactly what Tabarra is for. It speaks to something fundamental in all of us. Okay, so that's the history, that's the psychology. But what does this actually mean for us, right now in our daily lives? Let's get practical and talk about how to apply this stuff in the world we actually live in. Look, the real power here is in the small, everyday choices. At your job, you can make a point to support that one colleague who always does the right thing. That's your Tawalla. And you can politely refuse to go along with some sketchy business practice. That's your Tabarra. In your friendships, you invest your time in people who lift you up, and you create distance from the ones who drain you. Even online, You choose to share something positive and just scroll right on past the rage bait. They seem like tiny choices, but they add up to a life of integrity.
And this all brings us to the real heart of it. While the words Tawalla and Tabarra might be new to you, the ideas behind them make up a kind of universal ethical blueprint. It's a tool that anyone, anywhere, can use to build a more meaningful life.
At the end of the day, a truly meaningful life is built on these three equally important pillars. You need an active, genuine love for what is good. You need a firm, clear rejection of what is harmful. And, tying it all together, you need to accept your own moral responsibility to choose, every day, between the two. They're all essential.
And that's the bottom line. Our choices matter. A lot. The people we champion, the ideas we give our attention to, the behaviors we refuse to tolerate, these aren't just random actions. These are the very things that shape our character. And bit by bit, they shape the world we all share.
So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. And this isn't about some massive, life-changing event. It's about one small thing. So ask yourself, what is one small way I could practice Tawalla, aligning with something good, or Tabarra, distancing from something harmful, just this week? Thanks for tuning in.